topic is skyward vision for efficient high-rise building. And, we all have definition of what is a high-rise building across India in slightly different ways. So in city like Mumbai, we feel high-rise building is something which is more than 70 meters or so, or maybe more than 120 meters or so. But some of the other parts of the country, high-rise building means more than 24 meters in height. And this is purely connected to the certain technical requirements, which include services, firefighting, and special design in terms of earthquake design. So these are some of the factors which define the special character of a high-rise building. And that's where it sets it apart from what the normal high-rise, normal buildings are. I thought that when I have to speak about this for any project rather, is to pick up the design brief from the client as to what is it that the client want. And, for any project, not only high-rise, but for any project. But when it comes to the high-rise building and to make it more efficient, we have to be a little extra cautious about, I would say, the subsoil condition, whether there is rock or whether there is soil, which is very soft, like clay or something. And then we have to decide on the foundation system. So these are all the pre-project studies that we normally do through interaction, through certain tests or soil investigation tests. We also look at they cannot just jump out of their this is a 35-storied building that we are talking about, and it's almost 120 meter tall. So from that height of, 300, 350 feet, people cannot just jump down like how they can do maybe from the first floor or something like that. So that's where the whole game is in terms of understanding and planning. So these are some of the points that we had considered, looking at the locality, neighborhood, density, what kind of houses that needs to be created, what will sell for my developer, what is the FAR available. All those things were calculated. And we also wanted to do something which would add value to the design. So when it comes to adding value to the design, what I'm trying to say is that how different this building can be from a normal high-rise building. And so let me go to the next slide. So this is where the study of the location is. You can see the Malad railway station, which is highlighted on the right-hand side, middle corner. And we studied the proximity, how the nearest fire station is, how much time it will take for a fire brigade engine to come, where is the SV road, where is the link road, and so on and so forth. We also looked at the views which my customers would get. And it was supposed to be one of the tallest building in that area. So naturally, it has to also be grounded well. And that's how we visualize this project as we move ahead. Now, the biggest challenge for us was it was a very tight site because this was already a developed layout by my client. And they had a smaller pocket of land where they wanted to consume high amount of area which was not utilized on the surrounding buildings which they had constructed. And they wanted to load it over here. So the challenge was, how do you provide for everything in that site, which includes the parking, the garden, the circulation space, the fire tender movement. And of course, you have to fulfill all the codes which are there. As you know, in Mumbai, we have DCRs, the regulations as we call them. And all over the country, we follow, besides the local DCR, we also look at what we call the NBC, National Building Code. So these are very important codes, and I'm sure most of you must be aware of it, but it's worth going through these codes and making yourself acquainted with it helps a lot. So this was a very typical scenario which we were looking at. And I also had a challenge to fit my ramp, because I was not getting the sufficient length if I had to look at my building and the structure. So here in this particular plan, you can see the car parks, how they are fitted, and you can also see the columns. So another aspect of a critical aspect for safety and the efficiency of this building is where you are putting your columns, what flexibility it gives you. And this is very clear in this particular slide. You will see how the columns are and how you are still able to make the building efficient in terms of cost of construction, in terms of flexibility, in terms of safety and everything. So here we have, if you can see this plan and the core in little more detail. So here we have got total 5 lifts for vertical transportation. And as per the norms, once you cross 70 meters, you have to have 2-meter wide staircases, which are externally ventilated. You have to have a pressurized lobby and a fire lift, which is isolated from the main lobby through a door. So all those things are very important for the safety in terms of, when there is a fire. So feature of this particular project, you can see the visual here. So this is what the clients finally approved, that, okay, this looks fine. So if you'll see, there are 5 floors of parking, and then you have the remaining 29 floors of, one floor, of course, is the amenities, and then 29 floors of your residential apartments. So this was what the whole concept was. We have also introduced some breakout floors in between, which I will show you as we move ahead. And this is how the entire building has turned out now. So initially we had 30 floors, but now it has gone up to 35 floors, which was a revision which has happened with some area adjustments which could be done. Now to do was, I wanted to create a unique green facade, and I also wanted to give sufficient ventilation into the car parking area. So there is the carbon monoxide which comes out when the car movements happen, when the cars are on, gets naturally ventilated, and also it remains more, I would say, healthy environment, more suitable, less toxic environment, which is not covered. I had to protect, so there are chhajas and vertical fins which are in the form of this bands that you see, which are vertical members are there, wooden looking. And then there are plants which are kept there in Krigpur was decided as less in terms of maintenance. The security cabin is common for the entry and exit both, which you will see in the plan as we will come. So this is how you feel when you come inside the podium. This is the look and feel of it that you can see here. And this is the right on top of the podium. We created a breakout area for the residents. So there is enough greenery, children play area, sit out, that was created. You can see here the parents can sit and the children can play, they can skate, they can do a little bit of activity. This is the entrance lobby. We provided some area which could be used as, these days we have hybrid model of working. So we have provided a business center where people can come and work. They can have meetings on the podium level. So we have provided a conference room. There is also a banquet facility like a party or a gathering room, which is created for the residents to use. And these are some of the facilities which are there inside the house. I will not get into this for you because of lack of time. The most unique feature this project has is that on every alternate floor, we have created a breakout area. This kind of an environment was to be created. This was the facade which we gave to the podium, and you can see how it is. Actually, this plot, this entire project doesn't have any garden in terms of at ground level, but you can see how green it is. There is only 10 feet strip which is all around this building, but see how green it looks. And you can see here, this is the rear side of it. So this is where you can see the breakout areas which are there. And they also help as a fire evacuation or refuge areas. We also have fire refuge areas at other locations. But this is how the entire planning was done. So energy consumption, we have looked into certain aspects, environmental friendly materials and techniques we have used. We have created a biophilic facade and the soothing environment with some kind of an art involved in terms of, sculpture and other things at the ground level for people to feel good when they come. There are features like sewerage water treatment plant, which is compulsory now for any building which is more than 20,000 square meter in construction area. Rainwater harvesting is compulsory. Solar panels are provided on rooftop, and we have green spaces throughout the building. So there are enough places where people can take shelter in case there is a fire. Fire safety to fire cutoff staircases are provided in the building in order to escape in case of fire. There is also the apartment doors and common doors are 2-hour fire rated. It's advisable to put a smoke seal below these doors, which automatically comes down if there is a fire and prevents smoke, because smoke is the biggest killer in closed environment in high-rise buildings. In the 2 staircases and hose reel on every floor at 2 locations. And we have material which are of good fire resistance, which is minimum 2 hours as per the code. The good part is once we finish this project in terms of its design, we got the Asia Pacific Property Awards 2021-22 at London from Forbes in collaboration with Forbes. So that was a highlight for us that, when you do good design, it eventually leads to recognition. Very quickly, before a little more than the time limit. So thank you very much for that.